Good afternoon, JC Health and Fitness family. How are you be doing today? I am just waiting to see who's going to jump on today. We have a really good discussion heading forth. Today, we're going to be hitting again the how to follow Jesus in your digital life. All right. And I am looking forward to this new conversation. All right, so we're just going to wait a few minutes, wait a couple of minutes to see who else comes on. But meanwhile, we are having a great conversation. I have some wonderful things to talk about. Some new things are going on with GAC Health and Fitness, and I am excited to share that as well. All right, so once you get on board, come on in. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're from. How did you hear? What your day is like? I've had a very, very interesting day. It's been a full day. Honestly, it has truly been a full day. I started off with ALDM rehearsal this morning at 11:30, and then I had to run over to the dentist, and had a filling done. Once you had, like, for those of us, I'm telling my age right now, who had like the silver fillings put in, right? After all of these years, it decided that it wanted to crack, right? And the dentist was like, "Hey, did you realize that your filling cracked? We got to fill this back up." So I was there doing that today, and I'm just now starting to feel my face. It was the funniest thing, but to God be the glory that we have dentists that are able to do that kind of thing, and it was really quick. It wasn't painful or anything, thank God. And then I ran and got my nails done, and then I ran home and started preparing to be here today. So I really appreciate you guys being here and coming in and listening in. Let me know who's here. I can't see you. So if you just put it in the chat, come on in, come commune with me, talk with me. Because again, on this platform, it's not like, with Zoom and so forth, and especially like maybe even on Facebook where I can see people coming in right away. The only way that I'm really going to know that you're here, hey, Kim, thank you, that you're here is if you're in the chat. So, even though I do talk to myself a lot, all right, I would prefer not to be acting like I'm talking to myself right now. Okay, so let me know how you're doing. Hey, Kim, hope everything is well with you. Okay, again, we're going to be talking about how to follow Jesus in your digital life. And again, for those of us who are just coming in, who haven't been with us, this month we are talking about innovation and technology in regards to our health and our fitness. And last week we talked about, curating and conditioned, like what are we doing? We had to pick a side, and how social media can cause division, and what we had to do to actually make sure that we are not part of the problem, but mainly really making sure that we are part of the solution. Right. So this week is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be really talking mainly about us making sure that we are taking responsibility for what it is that we are curating on our social media and technology. Also, last week, we talked about different things about what we can do to measure our recovery. We talked about wearables. We talked about our resting heart rate variability, and how we can use our technology not only just to count steps, but we can also use it for other areas of our life like sleep, heart rate, resting heart rate, and so forth. And then we talked about the Aura Ring a little bit and the differences between the two. So again, I am Coach Doreen. For those of you who do not know me, I am the one of the head coaches for the GAC Health and Fitness, which is the Greater Allen Cathedral of New York, the Health and Fitness Ministry. And I've been doing this for over 20 years, and it is the best job and the best career and the best ministry ever. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So let us go ahead and get started. And I'm sure other people will come in. It is a nice Saturday, so people are probably out doing their thing, and they will either catch up with us or remember, like, oh, wow, we are live. All right, so let me just like go ahead and quickly tap my people said we are live, and just in case they are looking at the clock but not realizing that we are on the clock. Hey, Miss Ann, thank you, thank you for being here, Miss Ann. I appreciate you so much for being here. We had a great class last night. Ms. Ann was with us last night. Kim was with us last night. We had a great class. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because, again, like I said, we are doing some things differently. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. And again, I am learning this technology. Is this the right way? Yes, it is. I'm getting better at this. All right. So this week, we're going to be talking about pointing fingers. And for those of you who are part of the GAC Health and Fitness, you should have gotten this devotional in your email. And if you didn't, you'll get it, the next one. So this one is talking about pointing fingers. This one was, like I said earlier, we are really going to have to take responsibility for some things. So the first part, it says it is easy and right to say that technology companies and even the government should bear some of the weight and moral responsibility for the health of the public square, for the data they collect on us, and for the way they curate the things we see online. Now, my thought about this reminded me a little bit about how, people wanted, were taking lawsuits, against, they were taking lawsuits against McDonald's. You can't see me. Oh, I put it up there because you can you see the devotional? All right, let me know if you can see the devotional. All right, because I'm trying to go back and forth. All right, so I haven't learned how to split the screen yet. Work with me. I'm working it. All right. Oh, now you can see me. Oh, you can see it. Okay, very good. Just making sure. All right, so I thought about McDonald's. Remember years ago when people were trying to sue McDonald's for the fact that they were gaining weight, right? And McDonald's was like, it's not our fault, right? You decided to come in here and eat this. So how can you blame us, right, for you gaining weight, right? So even like with this, as far as the social media was concerned, I basically said when I was looking at it or reading it, I was like, nothing personal, right? They're saying this is nothing personal, it's business, right? And it's all about the human psyche, just like with the restaurants and those who do like the fast food, everything they have scientists, guys. They have scientists in there working on the bliss point, making it not too sweet, not too salty, just this crispy. It's the same thing that is happening in regards to social media. They are out there learning psychology and learning about the human psyche. Right? This is crazy. And a lot of money has gone into marketing to our sinful natures, our sinful desires, right? And it's a little crazy, right? They have learned how to lure us more into by the lust of our eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life, right? That is what they are doing. It is money, it is business, it is marketing, it is commercials, all right? All of that to lure us in, right? So as we go back to the devotional, it says at the same time, we are quick to fully shift the responsibility, right, for these tools onto others by refusing to acknowledge our role in their development and how we choose to use them. All right. So I thought that was really interesting. And so when I saw that, I was like, okay, what does that mean? That means we would rather point the fingers at others rather than acknowledging our own responsibility. And that's kind of dangerous, right? So when I read that part, I was like, well, that's not going to work because we are all free will agents, correct? We have the the right to choose, even though a lot of things are out there now that's trying to take away our rights to choose. Regardless, we still have a right to choose. That is a God-given right given to all of us. We are free will agents. So we get to choose, even though there are times, right, especially with social media, commercials, food, whatever, we are kind of being like manipulated into it. But the end result is we are not tempted by anything that we all are not already interested in. Right? So the thing is, if you're looking at it and you're interested in it, it's because you already have a proclivity toward that. And we cannot blame anybody but ourselves. We cannot blame the company. We cannot blame the restaurant. We can't blame social media, Instagram. We can't blame TikTok. It's really up to us. The choice, the end result ends up being us. So they used the Proverbs 19:3 that people ruin their own lives by their own stupidity. So why does God always get blamed? Right. And I see that a lot too. I see that how people, decide as like, oh, how can God let this happen? And, why didn't God step in? And it's like, it's not God. Again, he made you a free will agent. It's up to you. All right. And there was so many different, different translations. I loved all of them. Right? Proverbs 19:3 in the New Living Translation says, people ruin their lives by their own foolishness, and then they are angry at the Lord. It's like you made the decision, right? It did not go well, and it's God's fault because he didn't stop you. That's not the way he set things up, right? That's not the way he set things up. It's like, okay, so how many of us out there, it's like we made some decisions. Oh wow, that was really stupid. I'll raise my hand. That was me. I was like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Why did I do that? That was like really stupid. Why did I go there? Why did I eat that? Why did I say that? And then there's no one, you want to blame the person. Well, they shouldn't have said that. And if they didn't come at me like this, then it's like, no, sweetheart, no. It's up to you. You did that. You did that. All right. So the next one was Proverbs 19:3, right? The Message that says people ruin their lives by their own stupidity. Stupid. That was, and we do that. Like, okay, listen, okay. Am I the only one? Come on. Yeah, did I really eat that? And yes, did I really eat that? You sound like Urkel. Did I do that? Yes, Urkel, you did it. But okay, we all do it, right? We're in the movie theater, right? We're watching TV programs and we see what's about to happen and we are yelling and screaming at the screen like, don't do it. Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Don't you see that? And his God is probably up in heaven. It's like, yeah, I've been trying to tell you the same thing. Why you do that? Why? What is wrong going on? Right? But I love this one. The last one, right? Proverbs 19:3, easy to read version, says people ruin their lives with the foolish things they do, and then they blame the Lord for it. It's like, no, we can't blame God. God doesn't make mistakes. We are the foolish ones. We are the stupid ones. We are the ones that did it. Right. And then we're like, I don't know why I did that. I don't understand. Why didn't anybody stop me? It's like, no, sweetheart, we really were trying to stop you, but you wasn't listening. You wasn't listening. I know I do it. I do it all. I do it. I confess I do it. I be yelling at the screen. I be yelling at the TV. I be listening. Like, I be looking at people's lives and like, oh, that's not going. I know that hurt. I know that hurt. I know that this is not going to end well. Am I the only one? Come on, don't leave me out here. Am I the only one? All right, Kim is like, we all do it. Yes, we all do it. It's absolutely crazy. All right. So here's the other thing. All right. It says, and see all these things together through the lens of the Christian worldview, we can see that Christianity has the answer that even the highest of tech leaders, right, and government officials in our society can't seem to locate. It is this deep-seated nature of sin. All right. It's in all of us. We have this this proclivity to just go toward negativity or go towards something that seems to be the big thing. And we just jump in and not realizing how it is hurting us, not only spiritually, but it's also hurting us in our souls. And then we're not even realizing how it's really affecting all of those around us. So it says, which infects all aspects of humanity, like I just said, right? Including the design of our technological tools and how we use them. Even now, right, with thinking about that, it's just amazing how, like, we're talking, like when we were at the senior conference for GAC seniors, how they were talking about all of the scams that are out there. They are using these technological tools for evil, right? They're using these technological tools to snatch people out of their money, out of their homes, and it's really sad. But not all technology is bad. Again, it all goes back to how we are using it, how people are looking at it. Of course, the enemy is out there. He is out there to steal, to kill, and to destroy. He is trying to like snatch everything from underneath us. And if we are not careful, if we are not doing what we're supposed to be doing out here, in this world, we're going to get caught up in it, right? So again, it says, not only do our tools fail to live up to the goals or the intentions of their designers, but the effects of sin, right? The effects of sin causes us to abuse and misuse these same tools in those ways that deeply alter our view of the world and our place in it. I did not see whether or not. Okay. All right. So it's just very, very interesting how we are looking at these tools. So again, it's basically, we have a choice whether to use it for good or for evil. The choice again, and the will is ours. All right. So, oh, Miss Ann, I'm not sure why she's not able to get on. If she's not, if she's not subscribed to me, she just has to put in my YouTube information. All right. Okay. So the next thing, Proverbs 26, 20, 28 and 13, New Living Translation, said people who conceal their sins will not prosper. But if they confess and turn from them, they will receive mercy. Now, with this, now again, we're talking about making sure that we are taking responsibility for what it is that we're doing. All right. And we have to be honest about how we are using our technology, if we're using it for the right reason or not. All right. So did I take a note from there? No, I did not. All right. So again, Matthew 7:4-5, New Living Translation says, how can you think of saying to your friend, let me help you get rid of that speck in your eye, when you can't see past the log in your own eye? Hypocrite. First, get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eye. And I think that is like very true for all of us, because we can sit back and point fingers at the technology. You made it, Catherine. Great. We can step back and blame, the technology, the whatever. And I know that a lot of people are avoiding doing social media. They're avoiding using technology for this very reason. They are kind of afraid of it. They don't know how to use it. They see it as evil. But I think that, I don't think that anything that God, allows to a certain degree is completely evil. Again, we are the ones that make it evil. All right. We're the ones that turn it in the wrong way. So Message Bible says, don't pick on people, jump on their failures, criticize their faults, unless of course you want the same treatment. That critical spirit has a way of boomeranging. It's easy to see a smudge on your neighbor's face and be oblivious to the ugly sneer on your own. All right. So to me, it's like, there's a good and there's a bad part of technology and innovation, but we have to use it for good. Like, I know a lot of us who use technology or use social media, we're sharing encouraging words, we're sharing helpful tips, we're trying to use it to spread the gospel. That's using technology and innovation for the kingdom. But then of course you have, like we talked about last week, people are putting things on social media and using technology for the wrong thing. They're using it for division. They're trying to get their point across, or they're trying to smear people and put, crazy stuff up there. Again, we can look at it and say, oh, they shouldn't do that. But then we notice for our own selves, even from last week, it's like, well, how many posts did we share? Right? Or how many posts did we repeat that we knew afterwards? Is like we had to pull it down because it ended up not being true. Right? So again, we have to, like we talked about last week, we have to pray. It's like, okay, God, is this something that I'm supposed to be sharing, or is it something that's not going to be beneficial? All right. So let's move on real quickly here. So this is what they were talking about. And I would love for your interaction with this. It's like, in what ways have you abused or misused the digital spaces in your life? And I had to really think about that. And I was like, well, God, am I really abusing or misusing digital spaces? And I know, and immediately, well, not immediately, but after a few minutes, Holy Spirit was like, well, what about all those subliminal messages you be sending? I was like, oh, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean, right? It's like you mad at somebody, right? And you don't have the guts to say it to their faces, right? So you just like put certain things on there and pray that they see it. It's like, I ain't saying it to your face, but I'm going to put it up here and hopefully you'll look at it and it'll make you think. That's not nice. That's kind of misusing the digital space, right? So, share with me. Come on, let's confess. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. How have you used digital spaces, misused it, or abused it? All right. It could be abusing it by, I have a friend who likes to watch, different like dance videos or animal videos, and they could be on there like forever, just looking at different, that's kind of like misusing it in a sense, because you should not be on there for hours, looking at animal videos. Yes, they're cute, and the one after the other, it just keeps you going. But after a moment, it's like, okay, we need to not be on here. I know that people are following, like I think it's on Instagram, they're following people who are just like doing it's almost like a reality TV kind of thing, and they're talking about all the stuff that is going on in their lives. Again, it's like, well, how is that helping you? How is that really serving you? But just to be, it's almost like watching a TV show. It's like, but is that what God really wants us to do? So y'all are being real quiet. Y'all gonna leave me out here just to confess my own stuff? Okay, I love you. That's all right. That's quite all right. You don't have to. But I know I am not the only one, right? Or we see something out there that we're not quite sure it's true, but we share it anyway, and we share it to people. Now I realize that you can share stuff on Facebook and do it anonymously. I didn't know you could do that, but yeah, it's out there. All right. So I'm going to let y'all think about that for a minute. So then the second question that they asked us was, yeah, you're right, Miss Ann. For some people, it's company. You're right. You're absolutely right. It is company for some people. But again, I don't think that God um, wants us to use social media as a way for company. He does say in his word that it's not good that man should be alone. So we have to really find safe communities, to be vulnerable in and come out of hiding behind the screens, right? And Kim says that sometimes she falls asleep while watching videos. But you're not telling me which videos. What kind of videos you falling asleep? But I do that too. But for YouTube, it's like usually like different kind of videos that I just let play, like their scriptures or prayers, or I might be put on a sermon and I will fall asleep watching the sermon or something like that. But you too, Catherine, what, you fall asleep watching videos? I get you. Yeah, I guess it's a distraction. So is that a misuse? Is that a misusing of social media that it turns out to be like noise? What is it, white noise or whatever? Some people used to have a TV on, they have to have a radio on, they have to have music, they have to have some kind of sound in the background. I'm not saying that that is bad, but I would question, like, why are we afraid to be in silence? Why are we afraid not to have anything going on? So again, it's, we don't want to become addicted to anything. All right. If we gotta watch something, we gotta go on social media. Another digital space that they're not talking about, which I know that I use for a lot of downtime, is my games on my phone. That's true, Miss Ann. Sometimes we're on there, we don't even realize we don't. And that is, oh my gosh, have you ever been like on something and you said, okay, checking emails and stuff too, that, hey, I'm going to be on here for 10 minutes, and you look up and it's over an hour? It's like, wait a minute, what just happened? It's the truth. Oh my God. And it's like guilty, guilty, guilty. So yeah, we're on it. So that might be some of the things. I know some people during this Lenten season, they are fasting from social media. Right? They're not on Instagram, they're not doing Facebook or whatever, because they realize how attached they are. I think it's as addictive as sugar. It's a comfort food to a certain degree. Like even with my games, right? When I just need some downtime, sometimes I'm not even the TV is on. I'm not even watching it, but I am playing these games. And my husband is like, why do you play those games? And I said, I'm thinking. Because playing those games help me sometimes sort things out. But, do I really need a game to help sort things out in life? I don't know. But it helps. It does help. It helps. You need to at night with the games. Yes. Oh my gosh. Before I go to bed, it's like, and then also too, they get you. It's like, it's really bad. They're like, if you don't play it, you got to start from the beginning. I'm like, why do I bet the bottom? It's like, no, I don't want to lose all of my privileges. So you play it just to keep the score up. It's terrible. I'm doing solitaire. Right now. I learned that new solitaire game that they were talking about on The View and Good Morning America, and so now I'm hooked. Okay, here's another game. I got like 4 games. I refuse to do more than that. And sometimes it's like, okay, Doreen, why are we playing the game when it's time to go to bed? I think that is a misuse and abuse of digital space. Okay, it's a game, and they know it. They know it. Isn't that terrible? All right. So moving right along. What log exists in your own eye when it comes to technology, and how might you remove it? Now, when I thought about this, I thought about my kids. I thought about my sons, because they are, what did you say? You deserted out. You deserve. Oh yeah, I know that's right. I think about my boys, because they are of the age where technology and computers and friends online are there, and it's a lot, because again, I don't get to see them that often, because I can hear them sometimes. Even my youngest one, at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, he's online talking to his friends, but then I realized that his friends are in California, Panama, and so there's like a time difference, and I'm like, this is crazy. My parents would have been like, who are you talking to at 2 o'clock in the morning on the phone? But again, they're talking to each other online, they're playing games together. It's, it's a whole new world. And so I used to be like, oh, you need to get off the computer, you're in there too much, this and this and that. But the COVID season really solidified some things in regards to how we use technology. And I think that we've gotten so used to it, like people, like they're talking now about people not wanting to go back into the office. They rather work from home. They don't want to leave their rooms. I remember like 2 years, it was 2 years ago that I went on a cruise, and I met this woman, and she was on her computer, and she's on the cruise and she's working. And she says, oh yeah, I do the cruise all the time. I don't have to work. I don't have to work from home. I could be wherever, I don't need to go in the office. I said, man, if you could get that kind of work and be traveling and be on the cruise, that's great. But at the same time, it's like, is that really a good thing that we're not going into the office anymore? And I mean, not to get political, but I think that sometimes they're looking at, oh, well, they're not in the office. Then if they don't need to be in the office, and then we don't need them and we can cut them. It's like the need to be in a room together is not necessary. Now, again, we're doing this on technology, right? And who knows how many other people are going to get to see this. Again, it goes back and forth. Is it a good thing? Yes. And sometimes it's a bad thing. Is it saving time? Absolutely, because we're all over, right? And we had a busy day, and it's like clicking on the TV, turning on the radio, and here we are, and we are all meeting together. But at the same time, I wonder how much damage is it doing? Because again, going back to my children and, my nephews and so forth, my younger cousins, they don't really know how to be social with each other. They, the interaction, facial expression, so forth. Yeah, you can get that on computers and so forth, but it's something really different about being in the same room with someone. Right? Yes, absolutely. Also, Kim, you're absolutely right. When you're not feeling well, you can work from home. And Anne is saying some people are on their phone while they're having dinner or home at a restaurant. That's very true. So again, there is a good and the bad, and there's a balance. I think we're missing the balance. I think we're missing the whatever. So again, the technology can be good, because again, it's connecting people from all over the world. Again, technology for church, right? You don't want to go to church, right? Again, COVID did that to us, man. Oh my goodness. You don't want to go to church, you stream it, right? And I know I used to, during COVID, I have my friend, shout out to my friend Rachel, who was in Maryland, I think at the time. And we would text each other, where you at? Right? I tell them I'm in Chicago with John Hanna. I'm in Atlanta with Creflo. I mean, they were like, we would laugh because we got an opportunity to hear and see other ministers. I was in Texas with TD Jakes, whatever. And we would laugh about it. But now that it has died down, like COVID is not here, right? But people have gotten really used to staying at home, and they prefer to be at home. All right. And it's like, okay, fine. Another thing, technology, again, digital spaces. Let me tell you, Instacart became my best friend because of the fact that I don't have to go into the stores. When I'm really busy, I put in my order, I arrange for pickup or arrange for delivery, and it's meeting me at the door, or I'm going to pick it up and keep moving, because I'll go shopping if I have to. But I really prefer not to go in the stores because I don't have that kind of time. You guys know, I am running. All right. So if I don't have to stop and go through the aisles, I would prefer not to do that. Right. So again, we have to just look at the technology. There's so much technology. There's so much, but we have to figure out, when are we abusing and misusing it? Right. And when are we actually using it for the glory of God? What's your take on it? What's your take? How are you, looking at it and say, oh, You're right, Miss Ann. We got spoiled. We got spoiled. You go for movement and walk. You go for the movement and walking. I agree. It's wonderful. And then you start seeing things that are in the aisles. And that's the other reason why I don't like going in the store, because then I start picking up stuff and I end up spending more money than I'm supposed to. So I would prefer to go online, pick. That's in my budget. Okay, send it off and be done. So I end up spending more money. So sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. But even with that, for those who can't get out, all right, it's a good thing. You know, Instacart, BJ's, who else does it? Stop and Shop does it. There's a lot of stores now who will deliver your groceries to you. So again, the technology is not necessarily bad, all right, but we just have to make sure that we are balancing it in the right way. So again, going back to my son talking about the log in somebody else's eye, right? Had to step back and say, you know what? You are looking at this in the wrong way. You are fussing about what they're doing, all right, what they're watching or whatever. And my oldest son, Donovan, for those of you who know my son, Donovan, he will call me out in a second. He said, but what about this? And I'm like, don't worry about what I'm watching. Because I'm more concerned about looking at him, but I had to stop and say, but you're right. I can't tell you not to do something, and I myself am doing the exact same thing. So again, we just have to be very careful how we are looking at others, right? And how we are looking at technology on our own, right? And understand that it's not anybody's fault. It's not technology's fault, even though it is available. How we choose to use the innovation is up to us. All right. So that was my little spiel. I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to that, doing that. All right. And something, again, is something to really think about. It's like, are we really pointing fingers, and why are we pointing fingers? We should not be pointing fingers. All right. So talking about health and fitness, right? Technology, what I came across, right, is that most of the people that I work with are seniors, right? And let me tell you something. Technology and innovation are after y'all. They love y'all, all right? And they are because you guys are becoming the largest community, the largest, people, our population right now, right? And they are trying to figure out ways to get you guys to be more comfortable with innovation and technology, right? So I looked up, it's like, well, how is fitness specifically, adapting to seniors over the years? Now, we talked about a little bit last week when we talked about the watches and how we can use the watches, but they are not really giving you guys much of a choice. All right, because they're like, look, we're moving and we want you to move with us, and we're moving with or without you. So that means you're going to have to get a grandchild, a cousin, or somebody younger to kind of help you navigate this space, because they are not going back. Okay, they're not going back. Right. So from what I figured out, right, is that the senior population is indeed one of the fastest growing demographic groups in many parts of the world. And this trend is largely driven by increase of life expectancy and declining birth rates. That means you guys are living longer, praise the Lord, right? And the generations that are coming up behind you, because of the medical, innovations and stuff that's going on, and the science, the babies are living. All right. So the babies are living, you are living. And they're saying that in countries like in the United States, Japan, and much of Europe, the aging population is expanding rapidly, leading to significant societal and economic implications. Right? Carol, you're absolutely right. Thank God for grandchildren. I try to get my children to help me. They don't help me. I got to go figure it out on my own. I think I'm doing pretty good. Here we are on YouTube Live, going ahead with different platforms. I'm so excited. All right. So And Anna's like, if we like it or not. Yep, that is oof. Because we don't know. You're absolutely right. Cyber theft is, again, one of those things that they're using this innovation and technology with that is actually confusing us because we don't know what to look for. So again, I give a shout out to Dr. Kathleen Turner and her team that did the cyber information during the GAC senior conference. That really opened my eyes to so much stuff. And it makes us slow down because we click too quickly. We click too quickly before we stop. We answer too quickly. So here's another thing, and I'm sure you guys have heard it. So I'm just going to put it out there. If somebody, first of all, if I don't know the number, all right, if I don't recognize it, I'm not picking it up. Leave a message, and then I will decide whether I'm going to call you back or not. But if you do happen to pick up the phone and they ask you, is this so-and-so, right? They ask you if it's your name. Do not say yes. Don't say yes. Say, who wants to know? Because again, they're using AI and so forth to take your voice and make it seem like you agreed to something and you have no idea what you agreed to. All right. So again, if first thing is, if you don't know who is calling, don't answer it. Let them leave a message and then get back to you. Then if you decide, okay, I'm going to get back or whatever, right? And if they ask you, hello, is this so-and-so and so-and-so? Don't say yes. Say, who wants to know? Who wants to know? And they were like, so this is blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, thank you, but who wants to know? If they can't say, if they keep trying to get you to say yes, hang up. Hang up. Or they say, oh, this is being recorded. Before you even find out who it is, this is being recorded for security purposes. Hang up. If you don't know who it is, if they haven't identified themselves properly or whatever, don't let them do it. Oh, you said that happened to your uncle? Oh my God. Don't say yes. Who wants to know? Who's calling? Why do you want to know that? What is this concerning? If they cannot answer these questions, all right, and we have Holy Spirit, and if you don't feel like you feel a check, hang up. If it's legitimate, they'll call back. All right. Also, the other thing, okay, that we're going to go just really, sidebarring a little bit. If you get something from that looks like whatever, what you can do before you click anything on the email, go up to where it says received from and click on that. All right. If it doesn't look like something like from Citibank or from whatever, so if it's like a strange email that doesn't look right, delete it. Don't click nothing. Okay, because they're making it look like they are from a company or from your insurance or whatever. Because somebody had sent me something about my debit card, all right, saying that it has expired and we need you to do something. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, I just fixed that. All right. So before I did anything, I looked on it, I clicked on it, and I said, let me go up to this email. It was some strange looking. I said, delete. They are trying everything. Everything. Yes, and we do need to have to communicate with our children or someone we trust with our information instead of a stranger on the phone or web. Absolutely. Oh, if you're not sure, go ask somebody, right? And that's you're absolutely right, Miss Ann. That is the reason why a lot of the money is being taken, because we're too quick. We're not sure. We're not checking. Again, a lot of times, if I didn't solicit your information, I delete it. I'm like, I don't want that. I didn't ask for that. And you delete it. If it's legit, it will come back. Right. So yeah, be careful in taking surveys on your phone. Yes, without even realizing. I don't do surveys. I don't do that. Nope. All right. Someone called you, Kim, claiming to be Chase. No. But also we know that our and with people like that, it's okay. Thank you. I'll go to the branch. Thank you very much. Because I have a couple of people who were, even when my mom passed away, because it's public knowledge that people pass away and stuff, and people were calling me pretending they were from insurance companies. And I was like, wait. Why am I giving you this information? You should know this already. Who are you? And I hung up. I was like, no, we're not doing that, because they were trying to tap in to insurance money and more. It's just like, it's crazy. People, they could be millionaires and they probably are, because they're stealing from us, but it's just crazy. All right. So that was my little sidebar. Please be careful, because again, innovation and technology is good, but if you don't know what you're doing or you're not sure, don't do it. If you get a check in your spirit that don't feel right, go ask somebody. Call, I'll get back to you. What's your name? What's your phone number? They may not want to leave it. All right. So again, going back, the seniors are the fastest growing demographic. So they are really working really hard to grab you guys in, because they want your business. They really want you guys to work with them. All right. So I basically asked, because again, and I'll talk about it in a little bit at the end, where how I got this information as well. It's like we talked about technology, innovative solutions. We talked about the heart monitoring, right? Another thing that they're doing, which is great, and I'm sure like what we're doing right now on YouTube, right? But of course, you guys have done Zoom, because during COVID, everybody learned how to do Zoom. Everybody's doing Facebook Lives. Everyone started to get on Instagram and YouTube, right? But also now they're starting to do a lot of social calling or video calling platforms, right? You do it on your computer, you do it on your phones now, so again, it's more like we're talking to people just like we are right now, but now you're able to have like more squares in. WhatsApp is another one that's really starting to do that now, where you can have video calling. You don't have to subscribe to Zoom, because, for Zoom, there's a certain amount of time. That's, mostly businesses are using that, right? So there's different ways. So like we could do this, we could do a video call, we do Zoom. That way you're connecting to your family and friends and seeing their faces, seeing their expressions, right? Like we haven't done that before. Yes, before we used to get on the phone, call, hey girl, hi sir, how you doing? But now we can do it and call, so you can see your grandchildren, right? Or your great grands, or your cousins, your sisters, your brothers, friends, or whatever. And we're having this conversation just like we were in the same room together, right? So now that seems to be one of the biggest things that they are really trying to gravitate the seniors population into, which is calling platforms, simplified smart devices to help seniors stay connected with family and friends, reducing loneliness. Because like Miss Ann had said earlier, a lot of people are watching the videos and, doing whatever because they are lonely. But now you don't have to be lonely. Right, you can get on WhatsApp, or you can use your phone, right, Miss Ann, even Zoom for funerals, right? It's like you don't have to buy an expensive plane ticket, right? You can go like right there. The other thing that's really crazy, which is the gaming, going back into the gaming thing, now you can wear these goggles, right? And it is like you're right there, and you're playing games, or they have it where you can do it and you're at the beach, you can hear the beach, and it's like, it's getting really like, wow. Virtual worlds are really coming up there, right? So the other thing is health monitoring. We didn't talk about this last week, but now they're having it like if you are on certain types of medication, right? You can set your smart devices to remind you to take it. So you can set it to remind your medication, right? People are using it to remind themselves to drink water. They even have like timers on here. Like if you've been sitting too long, your watch or whatever goes off and says, okay, it's time to get up and start moving. So again, all of it is just trying to get you healthy, is trying to get you moving. It's doing a lot. All right. Now, here's the thing that I started doing. Well, I was doing it since COVID, right? I was doing it like YouTube. What's it, YouTube? Yes, no, was it YouTube? Was it? No, it was Zoom. Actually, we were doing Zoom, and then I was downloading the videos to YouTube because during COVID, where it really basically all started for everybody, we were trying to encourage each other, right? And we weren't able to meet in person anymore, so I started doing my classes and stuff from my living room. I still look at those videos. I'm like, oh my God, we need to take them down. But believe it or not, people are still watching. I looked this up and I was like, why does this thing have over 100 views? It is awful. But people were still watching them. And I thought that was absolutely amazing. Miss Ann, I'm getting ready to see Captain America. You saw it in 3D. Okay, see, you set me up. I gotta go see it in 3D. You were hooked, the special effects and everything. Absolutely. All right. But now they're trying to set it up. If you go to Best Buy and you go to their area where they have the TVs and stuff, they have like if you have the space and the finances for it, you can set up your own 3D thing in your living room. They have the glasses, the screens, and everything. I'm like, okay, they're really trying to put these movie theaters out of business. But again, socialization, we need to get out and be among the people. All right. But I thought that was I was like, okay, this is getting interesting. This is really getting interesting. So, again, talking about the social platforms, this is something that we're doing differently with the GAC Health and Fitness right now. I have incorporated more of the Zooms for my classes on Mondays and Fridays, right? Because again, I do that for Snap on from Tuesday through Friday. And then someone's like, well, oh, wow, I didn't realize that you had class on Friday nights at GAC. Do you mind? Can I join in? And I was like, okay. And once I started sharing the links, more people were like, oh, I can do this from home. So I'm like, here we are jumping into more fitness innovation and technology, inviting more people into the health space with GAC Health and Fitness by having them join us in class. Like we had Julia yesterday, and then we had a friend of mine from Nadira, who is from Snap, who has been joining me on Monday mornings and Fridays. So she's with me 5 days a week, y'all. So she's hooked, right? I wish y'all could do 5 days a week. But again, I put the link in there. You could join me during the afternoons from 1 to 1:45, Tuesday through Fridays, if you can't make Monday and you cannot make Friday evenings. All right. So again, not just me, but if you go on YouTube, if you go, who else has it? Your watches have it. I realized that like Galaxy, Apple, they have, like, if you have your health app on your phone, you can look up videos for exercise. They give you nutrition. They give you everything that you need. All you have to do is type it in, look for what you're looking for, and voila, there you are. So we basically, just like I said earlier, that we have a choice to watch things that are bad or do things that are wrong, or we consider that's wrong on social media, innovation, technology. There's also the opposite side. There are so many other good things that you can do, right? Your health. We're talking mainly about health. So your water, your walking, your videos, what else can be done? So another thing that I started doing, right, is that because of the fact that, there is so much information out there, even as a health coach, right? I have to like sort through and figure out, okay, what is going to be able to be fit for you guys, for my classes and so forth. So I have started using a lot of the AI services, like it like Copilot from Microsoft and so forth. It is very, very different. So people say, oh, well, I just Google it. There is a big difference between using AI to ask a question versus Google. And I was able to see that difference in trying to get my information together for this evening. I went to Google and started asking questions. And what they start doing is start giving you all of these websites. And then you have to kind of filter through the websites. But when you ask AI a question, they give you a whole like summary of the information and give you the best or the top answers, and then give you the resources to where you can go get it. Or they ask you more questions. Okay, well, what else do you want to know? Well, are you fit, this and that. And I found that with AI, it was a little bit more, it was much easier to get the information from them, because again, it's condensed. You don't have to go through the websites and all through the ads and the commercials and so forth. It was condensed. All right. So if you're not afraid, right, just go in there and ask AI a question. That's like, what the question was for me is, I asked them, how is fitness technology adapting for seniors? And they gave me like, oh, this is what's happening. And, da, 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 da. And so it condensed the information. And then it gives you more questions and it tells you where to go. So if you want to do more research, you can. All right. So that was my spiel on using it on a good way. Now, I'm sure people are up there asking AI really crazy questions, that are not good for us, are good for the society, or good for the world. But again, there's the tree of life, and there's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And my suggestion to all of us is that we continue to use the tree of life. All right. We want things that are going to enhance us and make us better and do better, feel better, and to spread the gospel. All right. So that's my spiel. That's my thing today about how we are following Jesus in our digital life. We talked about pointing fingers. We talked about how it really is a choice of ours on how we're going to use technology in our digital space, and how a lot of times we are pointing fingers at other people. But as we know, when you're pointing a finger at someone, we have 4 fingers pointing back at us. All right. So again, yes, Miss Ann, thank you for loving our Zoom workouts. It served your life physically during the pandemic. Yes. Thank you. And I love doing it. We were in Bible study today for the Allen Liturgical Dance Ministry, and our own Reverend Lorraine Dantzler had said, who loves their job? I was like, me! I love my job. I love what I do. All right. So a lot of people don't have that grace. They don't have that gift. All right. And I am so happy that God has chosen me to be a health and wellness and fitness coach. And I'm hoping that it is blessing your life as well. All right. So guys, thank you so much. We've been here almost an hour. Unless you have a question for me or something that you want to add to this discussion, go ahead and place it in the chat, and I would love to share it with others. All right. And address it if need be. Great. All right. So it looks like all hearts and minds are clear and in peace. Again, thank you so much. If this was a blessing to you, please like the video and share it. All right. So again, we are getting up there in our numbers in our platform, and I'm really, really excited about that. All right. So that means we are doing a service to someone out there and being an encouragement. Again, thank you for helping me to spread the good news of health and wellness, and showing that we do not have to be afraid of innovation and technology. We can use it for our good. So you never thought about technology and fitness? Yes, we've been using it all the time. We just didn't realize that it was technology. It's like, yeah, it is technology, and it's getting better and better all the time. All right, guys, thank you so much, guys. I hope to see you next week. On our third depiction of how to follow Jesus in our digital life. All right, guys, have a great one, and I will see you at the next stream. Bye-bye.